Hi guys, greetings of the day. Myself Raghavendra. Today we are going with a solid problem. A square prism 35 mm side and 60 mm axis length rests on HP on one of its edges of the base, which is inclined to VP at 30 degree. Draw the projections of the prism when the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. So we have a square prism of 35 mm side and 60 mm axis length. It is resting on HP with one of its base edge. Theta is 45 degree, that is axis is inclined, whereas the resting edge makes an angle of 30 degree with respect to VP, that is phi is equals to 30 degree. So as it is the resting edge, base edge, it is the non-locus problem. So square prism will be like that. The bottom face and top face both are a square one, whereas these are connected with the help of rectangular faces. As we have two faces, we can't name both the faces as A, B, C, D, how we have named in the planes. Because of that one, top face we are naming as A, B, C, D, so on, whereas bottom face we are naming it as A1, B1, C1, D1. Same. So first draw horizontal line. Name it as XY, VP, HP. Now construct a square in the top view, that is it is resting on HP. Here construct a square of 35 mm side. Make sure that it is resting on base edge, means the edge has to come towards right side. So all side are 35 mm. And as it is a square, we have to show the square symbol. Now as I told you, so here we have two faces. If you see from the top view, we will see only the top face. So naming will be A, B, C, D. The bottom face it is invisible. So in the bracket A1, B1, C1, D1 respectively. So this is A in the bracket A1, B in the bracket B1, C in the bracket C1, D in the bracket D1. This one is C in the bracket C1. And we have to mark the axis also. For marking the axis, join the diagonals with thin line. So where both the diagonals are intersecting, that will be the axis. That name is O in the bracket O1. Now from each corner, project the point to the XY line. From here to here. And also from the axis. Now after this one, he has given 60 mm axis length. The sides are 35 mm, whereas the axis length is 60 mm. So this is the axis line. From this point, draw vertical line of 60 mm. So as it is a prism, if axis is making axis length is 60 mm, means these side length are also same 60 mm only. So from this side, draw vertical line of 60 mm. Similarly, from this one, draw vertical line of 60 mm. Construct a rectangle. This length should be 60 mm. Whereas this one, this rectangular outer face should be darker. This is darker. Whereas as this is the axis, axis should be shown with the help of chain line. So bottom faces are denoted as A1, B1, C1, D1, whereas top faces are shown with the help of A, B, C, D. Here B1 is visible, whereas A1 is invisible. So it will be B1 dash in the bracket A1 dash. Similarly, C1 is visible, D1 is invisible. So it will be C1 dash in the bracket D1 dash. Same type for top faces also. C is visible, D is invisible. So it will be C dash in the bracket D dash. As this one is B dash in the bracket A dash. Here O1 will come. It is invisible. So O1 dash. Similarly, here O will come. That is also invisible. O dash. This completes the first position. So in solid, the resting side we are considering towards right side. That is, here the resting is base edge. So base edge we are considering towards right side, not towards left side. Why? I will tell you. Now once this is over, the first position is over. For the second position, he has given axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. Means it has to make an inclination of 45 degree with respect to XY line above that one. As these two edges, that is this line and this line, are parallel to this one, if this is making an angle of 60 degree, means this line is also making an angle of 60 degree. So we are going with this one. In system it is very easy, we can copy this one and we can rotate, but manually how to draw I will tell you. So this length is same as this one, that is 60 mm. Leave some distance, draw a line for 60 mm length. The angle should be 45 degree because the axis is making an angle of 45 degree. So this length will be 60 mm, whereas the angle should be 45 degree. We have drawn this one. After drawing this one, that is this line we have drawn. This one is C dash in the bracket D dash, as this one is C1 dash in the bracket D1 dash. After drawing this one, we have to construct a rectangle of this one. There is remaining three lines. That is these three lines we have to draw. To draw these two lines, that is B dash in the bracket A dash, to C dash in the bracket D dash, and B1 dash in the bracket A1 dash, and C1 dash in the bracket D1 dash. These two lines are perpendicular to this line, that is C dash D dash C1 dash D1 dash. So the length of these two lines are 35 mm. From this corner, draw a line perpendicular to this line. The length will be 35 mm. Similarly, from this point, draw a line perpendicular to this line. The length will be 35 mm. Now join these 2 points. This is B dash in the bracket A dash. This one is B1 dash in the bracket A1 dash. We have to show the axis also. the axis will be from midpoint to midpoint with chain line. That should be thin one from midpoint to this midpoint. That is the axis. This is O dash and this one is O1 dash. And as axis is making inclination, we have to show for the axis only the angle. If we consider the resting side towards left side means how we have considered in planes, the problem is we have to rotate with respect to this corner. We have to rotate with respect to this one. If you rotate, it will come like this. So how much distance we have to leave, it is very difficult to understand. Because of that one, we are considering in solids resting edge towards or resting side towards the right side. Now project the points in downward direction. So B1A1 is here till this one, till this one. Afterwards, I will mark the O1. First, I will lay here. This is the base one. So A1, B1, C1, D1. Here, top face A, B, C, D. Always in the solids, all the outer points in every view, it is visible. Means this outer points, whatever you are seeing, this is visible. Join all those things with continuous thick line. So how it will be? Afterwards, I will explain. You can observe here. This is whatever here visible. This edge is for B dash, B1 dash. If you want to draw the top view, the viewer should be at this point. If you see from that point, this edge is nearer to the observer. So B dash, B1 dash, that is BB1 here. It is nearer to the observer, visible. So continuous line BB1. Similarly, behind this line, A dash, A1 dash is there, another edge. So that is also nearer to the observer, that is AA1. So we are drawn with continuous dark line, that is visible. Similarly, this edge and these two edges are nearer to the observer. So that is B is here, B dash is here, behind that one A dash will come. That is nearer to the observer. So that is BA. This is nearer. So that one also dark line. We have to show with dark line. Similarly, CD, if you see from top, that is also visible. That is nearer to the observer, visible. So CD, that is also dark. Coming to the B1A1. So if you see from the top, B1 is, that is B1 dash is here. Behind that one, A1 dash will come. That is also visible. So that is B1 A1. We have drawn with the dark line. Whereas C dash C1 dash, this edge, whatever you are seeing, this edge C dash C1 dash, it is away from the observer. That is C1, away from the observer. But as it is coinciding with AC and BB1, so because of that one, nothing to worry about CC1. Similarly, behind this line, we have D dash D1 dash. That is also coinciding with this line and this line. So because of that one, nothing to worry. At last, this is the C1 dash. Behind that one, D1 dash is there. If you see from the top, that is completely invisible. So this line should be, that is C1 D1 should be, that is hidden, invisible. So it is shown with the help of dotted line. Don't draw the dotted line on that one only. What it will become, I will show you. Afterwards, I will draw the exact line. Now you can see like this. If you draw the dotted line on that one only, means it will be like this. So don't do this one. This is how we will get. And these two, C1 dash and D1 dash, these 2 points are too much away from the observer. It is completely invisible. So we have to write this C1 and D1 in the brackets. C1 and this one will be the D1. Now moving to the axis lines. From this point in downward direction, similarly from this point in downward direction, from this point horizontal. So axis, it is nowhere coinciding with any other lines, so show this one with chain line only from this point to this point. So this is O. As this face is visible, write O outside the bracket only. As this face is invisible, write O1 in the bracket, that is invisible. So this completes the second position. For the third position, he has given the resting base edge. The resting base edge means whatever edge it is there on XY line, that is C1 D1. So this is the edge. This edge has to make an angle of 30 degree with respect to VP. So we have to make sure that this edge has to make an angle of 30 degree with respect to VP. So first draw 30 degree line. First draw 30 degree line. Sometimes if you draw from this point 30 degree line, so it is very difficult to draw because some of the portion out of this view, that is left side of C1 D1 and right side of C1 D1, both we have to draw. So either of that one, it has to come above the 30 degree line, and some another portion it has to come below the 30 degree line. So here left side it is very less. If we draw 30 degree from this point also, sometimes we will not get that much of space. So for that one, what we have to do, leave some space below and take a horizontal line as a reference. From this point, draw 30 degree line. As this is horizontal, if this line is making an angle of 30 degree with respect to this horizontal, means it is also making 30 degree with respect to this horizontal. So this angle will be 30 degree. So first copy this C1 D1 on this line. So length will be 35 mm. First I will draw roughly, afterwards I will change that one, 35 mm. No, remaining portions. So this one is D1, this one is C1. As I don't have more space here, I will go with left side of this C1 D1 above 30-degree line and below 30-degree line right side of this one. Now for this C1 D1 line, these two lines are perpendicular. These two lines are perpendicular. So we will divide that one, and this is 24.75, whereas this one is 42.43. From C1 endpoint, draw a line perpendicular to this C1 D1. Length should be 24.75 mm. Similarly, from D1, 24.75 mm. Join this one. That is left side of C1 D1. So this is B1, whereas this one is A1. Similarly, right side of C1 D1 has a length of 42.43. So from C1 downward, 42.43 mm. Similarly, from D1, 42.43 mm. Join these two. This is C, whereas this one is D. Afterwards, we have to mark AB also. So AB length from CD will measure this one, 24.75. From CS center, 24.75 mm is the radius. Draw an arc. From this point, draw a line perpendicular to this line or 35 mm directly to this point. So this is B, whereas this one is A. So how we have drawn the lines here, the same way we have to draw here also. Same way we have to draw here also. So still we have to mark O1 also. So O1, to mark O1, it is at the center of this face ABCD and A1 B1 C1 D1. You can measure this one, 12.37, and this side is 17.5. So 17.5 from C. From this one 17.5. So this side is 12.37. From here we have to draw for how much length? 42.43. From this point, a line of 42.43 mm. Remaining things I will delete. So this is O. This one is O1. Same way how it is there, the same way we have to draw here. So this is axis line chain. So once this one is done properly, next we have to project the points. So depending upon their positions in front view, we'll project. So first we'll project horizontally. Axis afterwards I will do A1. So A1 it is on this line till this one. B1 till this line. C1 on XY line. D1. Similarly, ABCD. C is the on this line till this line. D it is also on this line. B it is there on this line till this line, and A. So naming is very important here. A is here, so this one is A dash, B dash, C dash. This one is D dash. Similarly, A1 is here, so this one is A1 dash. B1 dash, C1 dash, D1 dash. As I told you, all the outer points of every view are visible. So I will draw that, or I will join those outer points first. Afterwards, I will explain. So before that one, you remember in a square prism, there are total 8 shorter edges. That is 4 shorter edges in bottom for bottom face and 4 shorter edges for top face. So overall 8 shorter edges and 4 longer edges will be there. 4 longer edges will be there. So here outer points, we'll start from D1 dash, D1 dash, C1 dash, outer points. Next outer, see, if you are going here, the top one will be B dash. You can't join this one because B1 dash it is outside of this line, so B1 dash is the outer one, so that is also visible. Join this one. Left side of this one you don't have any other points. Next, so you can't join A dash because B dash it is left side of this line, so B dash is the outer one. Next A dash, next D dash, the next D1 dash. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, these 6 points are outer points. Join these outer points with continuous thick line. So once you join, next thing, as this ABCD stands for top face, that is nearer to the observer. You can see CD, it is nearer to the observer. If you want to draw the front view, means the viewer should be at this point. CD is very nearer to the observer, so C dash D dash is visible. So join this one with continuous thick line. Next, CB is this line. If you see from this side, you will see this line edge, so this one is also visible. Join this one. Whereas AB and DA already we have joined. AB is this one, so if you see from this side, it is nearer, and AD is the outermost point, outer points. So as top face is nearer to the observer, completely top face is visible. So all the 4 edges, shorter edges of the top face are joined with continuous thick line. Next, coming to the bottom faces, B1 C1 and C1 D1 already joined. We are left with B1 A1 and A1 D1. So B1 A1, this is the B1 A1. This is away from the observer, and if you see from this side, it is invisible. That edge is invisible. So B1 A1 should be dotted. That is invisible line. B1 dash A1 dash. Similarly, A1 dash D1 dash. That is A1 D1. This line. So that is also away from the observer. So it is invisible. So join that one with dotted line. You can observe these 4 and these 4, 8 shorter edges are over. Coming to the longer edges, B1 already we have joined. So there is B dash B1 dash. B is here, B1 is here. If you see from this side, it is visible. Similarly, D dash D1 dash already we have joined. This is D1, but this is the outer points, so it is visible. Next, coming to another 2 longer edges, that is A dash A1 dash and C dash C1 dash. A1 is here, whereas C1 is here. So C1, if you see from this side, it is visible, whereas A1, it is away from the observer, it is invisible. So A1 should be dotted. There is A dash, A1 dash should be dotted, whereas C1 is this one, that is nearer to the observer, that is continuous, visible. C is here, C1, that is visible. This is how we have to draw. Once we complete till this much, we have to show the axis also. We have to show the axis also. For axis, first project only the axis points. 1 dash. This one and O dash. Project from O in upward direction. Similarly from O1. Join the axis with chain line. So as the top face is visible, this point is visible, so this is O dash. Whereas bottom face is invisible, so this is in the bracket O1 dash. And always remember, any corner, it is made up of 3 dotted lines. It is invisible. So here A1 dash, it is made up of 3 dotted lines. You can observe A1 is the farmost point for the observer. So that is invisible. That A1 dash is invisible. So mark A1 dash in the bracket. It will be A1 dash. Any corner, it is made up of 3 dotted lines. Here also same thing. This C1 and D1 are made up of 3 dotted lines only. C1, that is one is this one. Another one is B1 C1. It is invisible. Why? Because it is coinciding with this set. This is visible. So first preference it will goes to this one only. Whereas another dotted line is C1. That is this one. This is also invisible. That is coinciding with these two, so that is also invisible, so dotted. So because of that one, we got in the bracket. So this completes the problem. If you have any doubt, message. Thank you. Please subscribe my channel.